Hey, everybody. Thanks for tuning in for another episode of Lessons with Dad. Whatever streaming source you are streaming us from, please don't forget to like and subscribe. If you're new, welcome. We'll start off the episode by talking about the weekly recap, what's been going on in the week, and then dive into what did one of my students tell me this week, and what would you do if a 12U baseball coach starts swearing on the baseball field? That's just some of the things that happen and we'll jump into. So stick around and let's get into it. All right. So thanks for hanging out. Oh, this week seems like a long, busy, crazy week that I'm trying to play catch up because I took off of work Monday. I'm recording this a little after 5 o'clock on Wednesday when normally I set the podcast to go out 5 o'clock Wednesday. So I apologize that the podcast may be late this week for those of you that listen. And I have a colleague who said she listens on her way to work, so I need to get it out. So I'm trying to get it out. And I apologize if it's not done on time, but I will get there, Miss Carol. If I can get it out, it'll be there. So this week we went Sunday, we went to the Timber Rattlers game, which the Wisconsin Timber Rattlers are the Milwaukee Brewers high A team. And right now, I think they have like 11 of their top 30 prospects playing for them. So my son Carter wanted to go. I wanted to go too. So we went up there in Appleton on our way up north Sunday to get the dog. And one of the things we did up there was it was Jacob Mizorowski bobblehead. So we went and stood in line to get a bobblehead because I was like, well, if we're going to the game, I'm going to wait in line for a bobblehead. So stood in line for about an hour, 15 minutes, and we were able to get our bobblehead. So lesson one, check secure. And then post game on Sundays, they also do autograph signings. So they all sat down at picnic tables. It got a little crazy, and I'm going to post a video and show some of that because I'm going to make it for my Wisco Card Kid channel. So if you're interested in that, check it out. But my son walked away happy. I think he was able to get pretty much every autograph that he was setting out to get. So that was cool. And it was a neat experience just to be able to be close to some of the players and get their autographs and talk to some of them and stuff. But um, then from there, we went up to our place up in Door County to spend the night because we had to pick up our puppy in Sturgeon Bay. So we spent the night Sunday. Monday got up and got everything ready and went to pick up our puppy, and our lives have not been the same since. He's actually been really good. I mean, he's a puppy, so he's nibbling on things and everything, but for the most part, we're going on almost 48 hours at home. He has yet to have an accident in the house. We take him out every couple hours. He's been eating well. He has started exploring a little more, but we put gates to block off top of the stairs, bottom of the stairs. And I know the biggest question everyone's been wondering, did we go with Duncan or Kobe? And kind of funny story. We were on the way home, and I think Carter, he was sitting in there, and I was driving on the way home, and all of a sudden he's like, you know what? I like Martin. And all of a sudden I heard Mara say, I like Martin too. And I was like, oh my God, could it be? Is this really happening? And Madden said, yeah, Martin. And right there, I was like, bam. I'm like, okay, everybody has agreed. Martin is. And then my wife, for whatever reason, was like, oh, are you guys sure you like Martin? Or should we sit on it for a day or two till we get him home and see what he is? And I'm like, why? Why would you say that? Like, shh. Like, they have agreed. They've been arguing and fighting about it for 3 weeks. They just agreed on the name. Why would you even bring that up? So then she's like, okay, well, I guess it's Martin. I'm like, yes, it's Martin. They have all agreed. So not Duncan, not Kobe, that they have fought about for 3 weeks. Our puppy's name is Martin, and we call him Marty for short. I like it. It sounds like an 80-year-old man just wandering around in my living room. So Marty is well, and Martin is also my wife's maiden name. So it kind of made sense. It was like it was the very first name that she actually brought up before even getting a dog. So I was like, okay. It's like Martin it is. It just kind of worked itself out and that's how it was. But otherwise, it's been good and been not getting a whole lot of sleep, waking up every 2 hours to take it out to the bathroom when it's whining and stuff like that. But overall, I knew this comes with getting a new puppy and can't complain too much about it. Otherwise, we had one of our friends hosted an end of the year basketball pool party for one of the basketball teams Carter played on Saturday. So that was fun. Spent most of the day there. And my wife's nephews played high school baseball, and their last game of the season, kind of high stakes game. It was either if they win conference outright, and if they lose, they would be co-conference champions with the team Madison West, the team they were playing. And that her nephew, well, our nephew, her nephew, whatever. One is a senior who plays out in center field, and one is a sophomore who pitches and plays shortstop. And the sophomore actually pitched, and he pitched the whole game, and they ended up winning. I think it was 5-3 or 5-4 or something like that. But he pitched the entire game. They ended up winning. They ended up winning conference, which was pretty cool. And it's fun to bring Carter to go watch his cousins go play baseball and for the conference champion. All right, now a couple things happened this week that I just want to talk about is I have a student who comes from a troubled home life, and as the school year is winding down, one school year is winding down, have all the end of the year paperwork, IEPs, write-ups, things, all the things going on and everything that just fills all your time, and a lot of it doing educator evaluation things so I can keep my license and do, which is just a lot of busy work they give teachers just for like accountability purposes, and it's whatever. And as we get closer to summer, the wheels kind of fall off the bus for some students, and they just, not every student wants summer to come because they don't have a great home life. They may not have be safe at home. They may not know where their next meal is coming from, and so on and so forth, and a lot of problems. So I have a student who has suffered trauma in their life, and every day is kind of up or down at this point, and trying to keep them accountable while also understanding the trauma and everything else. But they were having a moment, and he also has a younger brother who acts up quite a bit in school, and he was having a moment, and he got for somehow got a lacrosse stick, and while his younger brother had a lacrosse stick, we told them, hey, we need the stick, and because it's not safe for you to have the stick. And when we went to grab the stick, because I'm on our school's help team and I've been trained on how to handle nonviolent crisis intervention team and the trainings and all that. So went to grab the stick from the student, and he started yelling, "Get off me." Well, my student came out and was wondering what was going on with his brother and asked if we were hurting him. And I was like, I promise not hurting him. I give you my word, we will keep him safe. He will not be hurt. And s- student in the past would have reacted strongly to his brother saying they're hurting me or get off of me or whatever. And as soon as I told my student that, he's like, okay. And he kind of walked out of the room. And I was like, wow. So I found my student the next day because it was the end of the day. So he went home, and I found him the next day. And I just told him, I was like, you know what? I really appreciate you trusting me that I would protect your brother, and you took my word that I would do everything to keep him safe. And he's like, yeah, well, I trust you, Mr. Feek. And I was like, well, I just want you to know that that means a lot to me. And he turned around and looked and he said, "I would trust you with my life, Mr. Feek." And like I kind of took a step back because I was like, wow. I was like, man. And in the moment, I think I was kind of at a loss for words. But then I told him later in the day, I said, hey, you saying that might be one of the most impactful things one of my students has ever said, because I know that does not come easy and that does not come lightly. And I know how a lot of adults in his life have treated him, especially male adults in his life. And so I told him that that just mean the world to me, and it might be one of the nicest and most powerful things one of my students has ever said to me. So that was what one of my students said to me. And so, and we're still trying to make it through the end of the school year. Good days, bad days, ups, downs, and never know what's going to happen. That's one of the good things of education, and also one of the downfalls in education is each day is a new day and you never know what's going to happen. So we're working on it, and um, trying to change the world one child at a time, right? All right, then on to our second story of the week. That it was an eventful week. That so my son Carter's baseball team was playing, and they like to chant when our team is batting. They chant for when our team's batting, and if Carter's batting, the team will be like Carter, 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 and it's like they're 11, 12-year old kids having fun playing baseball, cheering each other on. They're not saying anything to the pitching team in the field playing defense or anything like that. They are only cheering our team on. Well, and as you know, like our head coach is a female coach, so um, that'll come into play in a minute. But as they were playing, like we got to, I think it was the second inning, and the coach from the other team was mad that they're cheering. And when they were batting, and he was walking over to be the third base coach, started saying something to our coaches, and I was behind home plate helping warm up our pitcher because our catcher was just batted and he was getting his catcher's gear on, so I was warming up the pitcher. And I came over afterwards and I was like, what was all that about? And I guess the head coach started dropping some f-bombs about the kids need to shut the bleep up while they're batting. And then he threw the line in specifically of, this is an effing softball. And I can't prove it, but I'm pretty sure like that dagger was just because we have a female coach. And like the fact that, so he did that time, then he came back. So we didn't want to make a huge or big deal about it. And um so oh, I'm getting a message from my wife. I need to come let little Martin out. But we didn't want to make a big deal about it. Well, just had to pause it and go take little Martin outside for a bathroom break because I got the message from the wife. But yeah, so we were chanting. We didn't want to make a big deal about it, so we just told our players, we're like, hey, as the pitcher is pitching and getting into his windup, just stop cheering or whatever. But it got to the point where even the umpire had to give the warning, or give the other coach a warning to stop swearing. And honestly, I don't think there is any place for that in, I mean, sports, more or less. 12U baseball, swearing at other coaches and then having to throw that side comment in about a softball coach, like just rude, inappropriate, lack of sportsmanship. And the other thing is they ended up winning the game, and they were winning, I think, most of the game. So all came, but just put kind of a real bitter taste in our mouths and things. But I mean, I guess what are there's no rule in it about chanting when the other team is pitching, as long as it's like in good taste and stuff like that. And It's not like when a player is shooting a free throw, you're going to go and be like, "Hey, can the crowd please be quiet?" and stuff. Like it's just part of sports, and our kids did it in good taste. They were having fun, cheering on their teammates. They're engaged, and I don't know. I would not tell our team to stop cheering and having fun and playing baseball. They're 12 years old. They should be having fun and enjoying playing baseball. And if another coach has a problem with that, I feel like that's more on them than on us. But I guess leave a thought, comment, like let me know what you think. Like, is that really like that bad of a thing? I mean, 12-year-old baseball, they're cheering on their team. Like, seems like more of a focus issue for the other team than anything. But um, and then on top of it, I get a phone call from the youth baseball board president the next day. And he's like, "What in the world happened at the game?" And I'm like, "Well," and he's like, "Well, I got an email from an upset mother of a child for in excessive chanting. And then at the park, there's kids, probably 14, 15, 16 years old, that are all riding around these electric bikes and stuff." And so the mom complained that we had in excessive chanting and how unsafe it was that all these e-bikes and everything are running around the park. And he's like, "Well, we don't own the park, so we can't do anything about that." And he's like, "Chanting." He's like, "There's no rule against chanting." And he's like, "Good for you guys for having your team, which is the second team, B team, whatever you want to call it, that engaged in a game where they are up on the fence chanting against their chanting for their teammate and stuff." So he wasn't mad. He's just more time consuming having to respond to these other emails and stuff. So I don't know. Let me hear your thoughts. Let me know what you think or whatever. But just, I don't know, like youth sports is getting crazier and crazier the more I coach basketball, now baseball. I'm like, some of these people are just nuts. And whatever, youth sports in general is just crazy. Let me know your thoughts on it. Thanks for listening. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll catch you next week. And I will try to get this uploaded as soon as possible here.